Okay, here we are back at Oakys garage, and today what we got, our assignment today is to do a top end rebuild on a 06 YZ250f. And as you can see, this is a good way to start it off, is that everything you're going to have to take off the bike in order to get this job done. We're going to, the mag is off because we're going to change the timing chain, which is, I think, is a great idea while this is apart. So this is what you should end up looking like when you're all ready to do your job here. You can see the old timing chains just hanging out of the cases. Ripped it all down. Everything looks really good in this. I took the whole back, obviously the whole subframe off this. That's sitting over here. One thing I wanted to comment about this is that one of the first things I do when I check out a bike is to feel inside the air intake and see if there's any kind of dirt that's ever made it by the air filter. And it has not. Somebody's doing their air filter all the time here. This guy's really on top of things. It's a racing bike, and he races it all the time, and does really good maintenance on it, and that's, as we go through this, gonna pay off. So anyway, this is a top end all taken apart. Everything stripped down, nice and easy to work on. Got the top end off, got the cylinder off, and that's over here on the bench. And the cylinder looks really beautiful. I don't know if you can see that in there, but there's still the hash marks in there. Doesn't need any kind of honing or anything. It looks absolutely beautiful. Did the clearances on the valves. I tested, checked those all out. Have to make sure that the cams are I do it on the bench because it's easier to do. Put all the caps back on, all the bolts back on, torque them all down. Get so the cam is, well, it's kind of hard to see the dots and stuff on this, but once the cams are all in position, you do your measurements. Feeler gauge in between. This is a bucket and a shim and bucket setup, and it all measured out beautiful. I'm telling you, this thing is absolutely beautiful. Nothing wrong. Bike came to me nice and clean, which I always appreciate. And we're going to, like I say, we're gonna replace the, I wanted to show you over here. This is what we're doing. We got Pro Circuit high compression piston. That's what's going to go into it. Obviously a brand new gasket set. Comes with all the seals. And here's your brand new Pro Circuit high compression piston that we're going to throw in it. Get a little bit more performance out of it. This actually it comes with stock Yamaha rings and circlips. Everything comes in one little kit. Very nice kit. And we're going to put that in here. Anytime you run a higher compression piston, you're obviously asking for a little bit of trouble because you're putting something in that really wasn't made for the bike, and these things put out enough horsepower now. But that's what we're going to do anyway. We're going to throw a high compression piston in it. We're going to put a new timing chain in it. We have right here the YZ250f cam chain, and the only reason we bought a YZ250 is because it came in a little quicker. We want to race this thing this weekend, and it's important to put a new timing chain in it, because the old timing chains, the OEM timing chains, can get a little bit stretched out, and once the chain stretches out a little bit, it might throw your timing off just a hair, and it's not as good as performance of keeping a brand new chain in there all the time. When the factory teams do it, every time they do a top end rebuild, they change their cam chain. So, and another thing I wanted to mention is, this is what he's been running in this bike since he bought it. This AMSOIL 1030 high performance synthetic motor oil. And a friend of mine has been telling me about AMSOIL for years, and inspecting this engine, I would say that it's been doing a really good job, because this in 06 has been really is in beautiful shape, but has been ridden hard. It's a racing bike, and has been ridden hard for 4 years now, and everything shows really good, beautiful, as far as see nothing wrong. The crank is nice and tight. If you give the usually when the piston is off, I do this little test, but you give it a little rocking, like you're trying to turn the piston, to see if there's any kind of connecting rod lower end play there. This is beautifully tight as brand new, and all the rings move around absolutely perfectly. That's what you get when you actually take care of your motorcycle and keep changing the oil. These things, the 4-strokes are putting out a lot of power. They're sharing the oil with the top end and the transmission. You got to take that into consideration, that they shared. In the Hondas, they have separate chambers to actually do the top end, bottom end of the engine, and the transmission is a separate oil. So, but on Yamahas, they share the same oil, so you got to change that all the time. And obviously, this guy has changed his oil a lot of times, and it pays off, because there's absolutely nothing wrong. We need to do no cylinder work. We need to do absolutely nothing. That's a little speech on that. So another little trick is, I didn't even take the carburetor out of here at all. I just zip tied it back to the shock in order to get it out of the way enough to get the cylinder off and everything. Obviously, this is all still done in the frame, and there's no need to take the engine out at all. Everything came apart beautifully, and well, that's about it. That's how. If you have any other questions, let me know through your comments, and I'll try to help you out. And this is O'Connor Motorcycle and ATV Repair signing off. Thank you.